It's currently on sale. One of the title bargain basements, I would say, at the moment. It's $7.79, so I've watched a lot of videos as per normal. Um, I don't really know. I know it's about depth of vision and sort of working within a puzzle of a puzzle. So you're looking at yourself, sort of maybe 2 or 3 times inside of a puzzle. So this one's really going to get the old grey matter going, I think. Um, I'm going to be scratching my head. Don't be afraid to say, "You idiot." This was simple. Anyone can do this. Because I will get stuck, I know I will. But I'm really looking forward to it. I do like the old brain teasers. Later on today, I'm going to my Sunday recommendations for games on the PSVR are puzzle games, and I've got a feeling this might appear on it. Along with games like Static is another good one as well, and Esper as well. There's 2 games I really enjoyed.
Now, stop me if you have heard this one before.
Beard's doing alright.
Once upon a while ago, there was a fisherman's puppet, carefully made by hand. The puppet lived a simple life inside a model lighthouse, with everything in its place. And every day began the same way when he brushed his wooden teeth. He was a handsome one. Well, if you don't think wooden teeth need brushing, you've never had a cavity and a splinter at the same time. Next, he put a log inside his little stove to warm things up.
Oh.
It would get cold in here. The puppet would put a log inside his little stove. The puppet would put a log inside the stove. Careful now.
How do I put it?
1 log out to do it. Carefully, he would pick up a log, open the stove, and put it in, without becoming kindling himself.
Right.
He needed to open the stove door and put in one of the logs from the pile beside it. Find the stove, open the little door, and put in one of the logs from the pile beside it.
I am.
He needed to open the stove door and put in one of the logs from the pile beside it.
I've done it.
Nice and warm, sits this lucky seashell over there on the shelf. What next? There. The shell reminded him of the sea when it was calm. Next, the fisherman would open wide his window to check the weather. A quiet sea tonight. Finally, and most important, every day he would work on his latest model. There, in the center of the room, a perfect model of his own little lighthouse, exact in every detail. It was nearly finished too. Only 2 pieces need... Yes!
Where's the other piece?
The model should be a perfect replica. There was a section of the wall missing and a model cabinet. They must have been around here, somewhere.
No.
The model should be a perfect replica. There was a section of the wall missing and a model cabinet. They must have been around here, somewhere.
Oh, there's a wall. Right, we're back in the game.
Good. Now, the final touch. A tiny puppet of himself to put inside. There. Lucky this model snapped together. Now the little puppet could go in its little rocking chair inside its lighthouse. Tired out from his routine, the fisherman will rest his aching wooden bones in his own rocking chair and go to sleep. And dream of models. Safe inside, where the smell of paint and glue was always fresh, where the world was simple and snapped together, the puppet would follow his routine, brush his wooden teeth, dust his lucky shell, and work on his model. Within worlds, walls within walls, closing out the storm so it could never reach inside. Until one night, something changed.
Look at that. Cool. Well, that was a short game, wasn't it?
Has begun and stocks are looking thin again this year. We all know there's a big catch waiting out there somewhere, but hold your hauling lines. Reports are saying a huge storm is blowing in. It might be nothing, but better safe than salvage, I always say. Coming up next, another hour of thrilling nautical news after these messages.
Oh, there's a bit of a storm coming. Hello.
Every morning, the fisherman's puppet woke inside his model lighthouse with everything in its place. And he began his day the same way. Except this morning, something felt different. Mon Dieu, the window had been boarded up. The fisherman didn't remember doing that. Even when the storm came, he was safe in here. But no 2 silly planks of wood were going to get between him and his routine.
I need to pick that up to use it on the...
He needed to find something to pry off the boards.
What have I got?
Ah, this would do. What was it Papa used to say? Use the right tool for the right job.
How dare you block
Nearly
me?
there. What was this feeling? The fisherman hadn't felt like this for a long time. At last, the smell of the ocean.
What?
But outside, not the sea, he couldn't believe his wooden home. And standing in it, a huge but very familiar figure of a fisherman.
Hello.
And he knew that if that huge figure were to turn, its face would be very familiar. Sacre bleu. If this was what lay outside, then what was inside his own little model lighthouse, in the model of his own room?
Put that down.
It was all there inside the model, exact in every detail. But the tiny version of himself, it was moving. He was inside the model, he was outside the model, and just who was pulling all the strings?
Just in, dear listeners, a general alert to all lighthouses. In spite of all of our thrilling, up-to-the-minute warnings, a lone boat has gone out into the storm. Lighthouse keepers, make sure your lights are shining bright. I repeat, a lone boat has gone out into the storm.
The lighthouse. The world might be folding in on itself, but only one thing mattered now. He had to turn on the lighthouse lamp high above. The life of a fellow sailor was at stake. A youth, of course, as below, so above. When he lifted the tiny anchor, the large one was lifted by his giant self.
Put me out on? No, no, one.
The path was clear. Time to light the lighthouse.
Okay. Put that over there then.
Zut! The door was locked. He must have put the key somewhere last time he left this room. Now, when was that? And then, my friends, the strangest thing happened. Inside this room where he knew every cranny and nook, an unfamiliar voice said,
Hey, you. Yes, you, the scruffy-looking puppet. Yeah, you with the strings. Over here, on the shelf. Are you cracked in the cockle? Why did you move the anchor? Why? Why did you take the roof off?
The fisherman. He felt, well, his lucky shell had just started talking to him, and very rudely too, so he did not feel so great.
You test me every day and you thought I just had nothing to say? I'm an hermit crab, Sonny, and you might not appreciate a nice quiet hiding spot, but I do. Now, shh.
And what are we hiding from?
I'm hiding from the storm. Why do you think I stole the key?
The key? The key? Where is it?
Oh, fiddler crab sticks.
The fisherman took a deep breath. Oh, hermit crab, craftiest of all crustaceans, I must get to the top of the lighthouse. Those sailors out there may be looking for us. We must be brave.
Brave? Brave? If you can find me my hat, I will be the captain, of course. And the captain needs his hat and a life preserver, just in case. Then, just this once. we will be brave.
Well, of course, courageous Captain Crab, said the fisherman. Your hat and a life preserver. Now, where would an everyday wooden puppet find a tiny life preserver and a hat fit for a crab?
There. Now, good. Now, put it on me carefully. Good. So, you found everything? Well, if a little wooden puppet like you can do this, then I will be brave. Now, just let me get out of this damn shell. Phew. Breezy. I feel so much lighter, and the world feels so much bigger. I don't think I can go back into my shell after this. All right, let's do this. I'll help you open the door, so you can save your fellow silly old sailor. And I, as captain, shall courageously remain here, on guard. Now, let's see. Where did I leave the key? I was holding the key while I was repairing my shell. Then I had a sudden itch, and then... blast it. I don't remember.
The crab had lived his whole life inside this little shell. No bigger than the fisherman's hand. But he was safe.
I am embarrassed to admit, but alas, I have lost the key. Almost got it. That will do. All right, are you ready? Meet it. I won't forget what you did for me. Your captain salutes you.
He would need to find his way up the tower in the darkness. And already he could hear the storm rising outside.
Woohoo! Wow. You certainly have to think outside of the box a little bit. But it's all pretty obvious.
We're with you through the night, fish fans, and remember, no catch is worth risking life and limb, even if it is the biggest.
The biggest fish Papa ever caught. The fisherman had spent all his life trying to land a catch as big as that.
Well, don't you look like a tall drink of water?
It was still alive. This went against everything he had learned.
So
He had
need
to
some
get the
pipes.
fish some water. This section of wall seemed loose. Of course, he had forgotten to glue this part of the model. It was only held on with 2 latches.
Whoa. Hey, Junior. Yeah. You certainly have to think a little bit, don't you? Such a simple idea.
Water. 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 Water.
So I need two pieces of pipe. So surely it's not. I don't take from here, do I? No. Yeah, look, this is why I like. Oh, hello. This is why I like VR games. Where kids, you know. How would this work in a flat screen version? It wouldn't. What's that? Oh, hello. Got myself a little drink. There's got to be pipe somewhere. Where am I looking? Bits missing there. Bits missing there.
He must find some water for the poor creature.
Right, let's... No, surely that's too simple, isn't it?
Jam buckets! No water in the tap.
So how am I... How's it going? You enjoying it? Won't let me go any further. Oh, there you go. Just in case. Excellent. We've had one day. Yeah. Oh, I saw you made a bit of a purchase the other day. Good man. Yeah. You've not missed much though. I don't like to say I'm disappointed by games a lot of the time, but I have to say I was really disappointed with Wolfenstein. I was gutted. I was so looking forward to that game. And it was...
He had to find the missing pipes and repair the plumbing.
It was so short. But not only that, it's like the best bits of the content for me were there was some of the... Let's see. Some of the mech, like the last sort of larger mech, was fantastic, I thought. What am I missing here? Is it hidden, do we think? Yeah, one of the last mech for me was the best part of the game, and for it to then, you know, finish, that was really disappointing for me. It did some things well, but a lot of things it did, no, unfortunately, it was yeah, quite disappointing. I think I'm sort of not the only one that's found that. I think if it was a cheaper price, yeah, cheers Junior, I'd sort of recommend it because it's really, it's like an add-on to the original game. Where's the other bits of pipe? Probably many more places I haven't looked. Is it on the model? Oops. Oops.
There were some pipes missing to get the sink working again. No. The door upstairs was locked, naturellement. That would have been too easy.
Yeah, of course it would.
If only the water pipes were as strong as that big column in the middle of the room. Is that it? The pipes weren't lined up right. That didn't seem to work. There. Now the water would flow.
Operator error.
Success. Oh. Too much success. Water flooded into the Mojo. Quick, hold your breath. The water closed over him, and the memories came flooding back. The coldness, the darkness, the ocean tossing and turning him like a rag doll. But wait a minute. Puppets can't drown. No, a bit of water wouldn't stop this fisherman.
Water everywhere, but... Is there anything to eat? I'm hungry.
It seemed Papa had forgotten to feed his stuffed
Is there
fish.
food out here? There must be food.
Who are you, oh noble fish? And do you know how to reach the top of the lighthouse? The fisherman asked.
I'm a big-eyed tuna. My eyes are even bigger than my stomach. And if you want to go upstairs, my little amuse-bouche, well, you'll have to feed me first.
There must be food out here.
Nothing? I'll starve. Any second now, I shall succumb to hunger. If only you find me some food.
Haha, sardines. These would do. It's a fish-eat-fish world, after all. But how to open the can? Can opener. Can opener.
Yeah, I can see the can opener. I'm just overthinking it. What for?
It was an old-fashioned can opener, the kind you turn by hand. They smelled vintage, but a stuffed fish could hardly be picky.
What are you waiting for? Throw the sardine. I'm ready to catch it.
Bon appétit, you greedy guppy.
more. More. Good, good, but I need more. Bigger. These are just appetizers. I want the main course.
Chew on that.
A bone? A fish bone? It's stuck in my throat.
What next? It seemed the fish hadn't choked on its own appetite. And also a fish bone. He had to climb inside the mouse. The fisherman was afraid. No, there was the bone of contention.
Thank you, fisherman. I could not get it like an obsession. But you, Legoland walkers, we don't know anything about that. Of course, you have everything, don't you?
Well, what could the puppet say to that?
Now, I must repay you. The key to the tower door is outside. I saw a huge figure hide it near the mirror a long time ago.
Outside? A huge figure? Could it be...
I'm certain it was around here. Climb on in. Welcome aboard Fish Flight 123. Please keep your arms inside the mouse at all times, and no splinters, please. Hold your seat, sir.
There was plenty of legroom, but the view left something to be desired. And there was a distinct smell of... Oh yes, sardines.
Here we are. Mind your step.
The key was too high. He needed something. Perhaps back in the lighthouse, there might be something he could use. The fish was around the mirror when it was trying to show where the key was. The key was around there, close to the sink, or above. key was too high. He needed a ladder or something. Perhaps back in the lighthouse?
God damn it.
This was much too big to be moved. He had to find another way to move it.
Overthinking it again.
At last, time to get back to the lighthouse. Thank you for helping me, the fisherman said.
Of course, you helped me see that there is more to life than the largest mouthful. Sometimes a smaller morsel is sweeter, juicier, and more delectable.
Whatever next, the fisherman...
Bonjour, little morsel. Thank you for setting me free. I hope you reach the top of the tower.
The door opened.
Thank you,
The
fish.
lighthouse tower waited. The fisherman had begun to think that he had all the answers, but he would soon realize he had bitten off maybe more than he could chew.
Come in, trawler. Come in, trawler.
me.
If you can hear us, return to port immediately. I repeat, return to port immediately.
It's me. Look at all the fish. Oh. So it's me in the boat.
Papa's old study. This was where the fisherman had learned to make models. Sitting at Papa's knee, listening to Papa's gruff, scratchy voice telling him to try again, and next time get it right. The fisherman was nearly there, but something in this room seemed different, like he was being watched.
I have been watching you, and I'm not impressed.
Papa? The painting, the old painting of his father, the great fisherman, it was talking.
Quiet, I'm talking. My only child, my flesh and blood. You could have been as great a sailor as me, or my father before me. Ah, Papa, that you had lived to see this day.
Papa, said the puppet, I must light the lighthouse lamp. A ship is in peril.
My own son, a mere lamp lighter, a landlubber, nonsense. All you need is a boat and a strong net. Show you're a true sea dog and sail out there. Maybe you're good for something. Keep going.
Oops. Oh, it's destructive, isn't it?
You won't get far with Alpha Boat. Where is the next part?
I'm looking for it.
The door upstairs was rusted shut. Besides, Papa had given him an order, and a true sailor always obeys the skipper. Fishing, it is an art. No, a craft. No, an art. Aboard a craft. I'm writing that down. The controls of the old lighthouse crane were there, on the balcony. The huge half-flooded room surrounded him, and below, he could see the tiny replica of the room. Fool, where did you leave the left part of the hull? Did I ever tell you about the time I caught a fish as big as you? Bigger, in fact. Much bigger.
Stopping it from working. Oh, I've got battery missing. Did I see something down here?
So it's come to this. My own son. A lighthouse keeper.
Oops. Shush.
Did I ever tell you about the time I caught a fish as big as you? Bigger, in fact. Much bigger.
What's that? What a genius.
Your mother would be sad to see this day. But we're nearly there. Who am I kidding? You never finish anything. So it's come to this. My own son. Phew, a lighthouse keeper.
A bit there.
Fool, where did you leave the left part of the hull?
Oops.
Your mother would be sad to see this day. Not me, of course. I was always a very supportive parent. Fishing, it is an art. No, a craft. No, an art. Aboard a craft. I'm writing that down. Keep going, boy. I will make something of you yet. There, that's a good, honest vessel. Well, what are you waiting for? All aboard! Now buck it at the pontoon. Then we'll see who's too big for his father's boat. A ship in harbor is safe, but it belongs in the water. Lower it on the crane.
So where are we going?
Time to set sail. Lower that boat into the water.
Allez, en avant toutes.
Don't touch that rudder, boy. We are bound for the biggest catch of our lives. Stay on course. Can't you do anything right? Let this be a lesson to you. Even great sailors like me can let the battery run out. Well, find another battery. Cast off. East by northeast. Full steam. Look at you. You look almost like a real sailor. If I squint. Thanks, Papa.
Good morning, fish fans. Fishing season has begun and stocks are looking thin again this year. We all know there's a big catch waiting out there somewhere, but hold your hauling lines. Reports are saying a huge storm is blowing in.
The storm approaches. That's when the fish come easily, my son.
Coming up next, another hour of thrilling nautical news after these
The
messages.
fish are waiting. Activate the winch. Drop the nets. In the art of the storm. This is where nature hides its beauties. They're waiting for us.
I think I'm working for a crazy man. Uh-oh.
Come in, trawler. Come in, trawler. If you can hear us, return to port immediately. I repeat, return to port immediately.
Uh-oh. No, won't let me. That's a big wave.
Don't forget, boy. Come back with a hold full of fish, or don't come back at all.
Here comes a big wave.
Yes! All done, son. All done. Oh, you've got guts, boy. I will give you that. Go then, if you must. Climb the tower, light the lamp, save any other poor souls who are sailing out there, driven on by the disappointed fathers. I only wanted you to be greater than me. But I didn't. Au revoir, Papa. Then, the fisherman thought of all the countless fish he had hauled from the ocean on a line just like this one. Just like his father before him. But there was one difference. Those poor fishes were dragged out of their dark, safe world and into the blinding light by force. But no one was pulling this fisherman. As he climbed the hook, he thought of all the models he had built, all the days he had spent inside the lighthouse, hiding from his fear.
I don't know what you've been hiding from, but I've been hiding from the storm.
His greed.
You, landlubbers, have everything you want, don't you?
And his obsession, that shadow which had seemed so large once upon a time. The greatest catch ever is out there, Fizz. It's just waiting for us. Here we go. At last, time to turn on the light. Outside, the storm raged. It seems the rules of the replica had been completely disrupted. Inside the lighthouse, little versions of the puppet were reflected back at him, getting ever smaller. And there was only one match left to turn on the lighthouse. Was there anybody out there in the storm? Who knows? But for now, at least, he had one job. He was a lighthouse keeper. Now, if he could only find a match. The matchbox was empty. Shoot, there had to be a match around there. The model was working like a mirror. He had to light the big lamps as well as the small ones inside.
had to light the lamps inside and out, and there was only one match left to turn on the lighthouse. He needed to find a match.
I can see a match.
The match? Where were the match? A match. Now something to strike it on. I love that sound. The 3 lamps were lit, but there was nowhere near enough light. Perhaps his little friends inside the model could help out. big lamps around the room needed lighting. Time to light the lamps. Now, carefully, the next level down. The big lamps around the room needed lighting. Time to light the lamps. There were 3 lamps around the walls of the room. There was a little version of himself inside the model. Perhaps he could help. Yes. One final job, to align the beams. The torches were alight. Finally, he must align the beams. Et voilà. Let there be light. Farewell, mon fils. I can rest now, knowing my obsession did not drag you down with me.
Goodbye, little morsel.
Bon voyage, shipmate.
Oh, look.
Mon Dieu, was that beard, that face? He was awake. Hey, the puppet cried. I'm in here. I've been in here all this time. I'm in here.
Hello? Ah.
What time is it? What a mess. Do you know, I think I've been in here long enough. I think I need to see the sea.
The skies are clearing, fish fans. We've weathered another storm. Fishermen, enough mending your nets. Time to earn your keep. And to all you lighthouse keepers out there, I think you deserve a holiday.
How long has it been? Well, no matter. Encore the way.
Well, that was a pretty cool game, wasn't it? And the outside bit, so realistic compared to the inside. That's yeah, a really good experience, I would say. Puzzles make you think a little bit. It's short, obviously, but for £7.79, I don't think that's too bad. I think it's £15.99 full price, so you might think that maybe there's not enough of a game there, but it's good for all the family as well, because it's another good puzzle game that you could give to somebody and they're going to have to think the same as you, really, and they probably are going to think a lot clearer than you do, because you know, if you play VR games, you may, like I do, I overthink things sometimes, and it's probably a lot more simpler than you need to think. But that's a very good way of, you know, utilising VR and interacting with things at different depths, messing with your mind a little bit. But it was never too difficult that you needed hints to get the answers. You knew what you had to do. It's trying to train your brain, like that last bit. I knew the match, but trying to figure out how to do things backwards, it is a little bit more difficult. But that's a good game. I enjoyed that. I'm pleased I bought it in the sale this week, and yeah, it's a game that I can recommend for people. Graphically, it's a bit simplistic in the actual game, which is quite surprising when you go outside and it's the real world. That's, you know, a nice little hint there. So he's obviously dreaming it, would you say? Perhaps it's because he's asleep there. So yeah, it's a nice game. I'd recommend it for you guys. So I am Midlife Game-ist. You can find me on my YouTube channel, which is Midlife Game-ist. If you hit the like, hit the sub, join me, make some comments, help me out if I get stuck in a game, give me some tips, that would be great. And I've also got a Facebook page which I will post any live streams to of PSVR games. I also do live streams of Oculus Quest games as well, as and when I get hold of those. Shall be doing one in the very near future, I hope. And yeah, if you look me up on there, hit a like, hit a follow, that'd be great as well. I do little things such as reviews of, not really reviews, comment my thoughts on games. I don't give games scores. I will say whether, you know, I like them or not, or would recommend them. I don't actually score games at all. But yeah, you can find me on Facebook as well, and a bit later today I will be doing my Sunday write-up of recommendations for puzzle games, and yeah, Fisherman's Tale will be on there. My thoughts on that will be on there later on today. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good Sunday, and I shall catch up with you all again very soon. Cheers, bye bye.